A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartache. Whatever you wish for, you keep.
Hello everybody. So I just realized that I set the stream to start at 8:30, not 9, and that was on me. But welcome now. We're only, you know what? We're on time somewhere. Somewhere we are on time. What is going on? Mexican Iron Man coming in hot. Member for 26 months. Thank you, sir. Waiting for my Mexican prince to come to the taqueria. Yes, well, the taqueria is gonna be princeless, I guess. You're there though. I guess you'd be a king though. Mexican Iron Man. Oh, thank you for your wonderful love and support. Legioness, howdy. I return the bow. Adega, what's going on? Hello. So we're gonna just kind of jump right into things. And sort of, this is one of the instances where the only thing authentic about this entire, I guess, press tour, this film, this whole insanity, the only thing that's been authentic is Rachel Zegler's hatred for the original film and her disdain for Disney fans, which is mostly children. I would like to point that out. Mostly children whom she's upset that the kids want an accurate adaptation and that the parents for wanting an accurate adaptation for their children. So she's taking it out on parents and she's taking it out on the children. So the children and their parents are getting her her angry bitterness. And what's interesting is if we go way back, all the way back to October, we're talking what, 6 months? Okay? We're talking 6 months. That's it. Rachel Zegler on reinventing Snow White and Juliet. So not just Snow White, but also Juliet, because she was on Broadway as Juliet. Reinventing Snow White and Juliet and facing off against toxic Disney fans. I've watched women get torn down my whole life, usually by other women, might I say. And if you had a friend in this world or in this business, why they would have guided you far from whatever this is supposed to be. Because frankly, what this looks like is like you stole a deputy sheriff's star and used it to pin together a pair of pants that split down the seams. And it's bizarre because I think you're trying to make your torso look longer by hiding the fact that your belly button is like right here. And so it's just awkward because you sort of look like one of those synthetic robots from the 1990s. You know, like all the bad guys were like the synthetic robots. Cajun Corey, what's going on? Howdy. Wonderful to see you. Oh, Mexican Iron Man. I love you. So, there you go. Like, if I had been your friend, I would have told you to smile because I can't tell if you are miserable, drowsy, or both in this photo. This makes your jaw look incredible. This like, I only ever took photography 101, but even I know that you're not supposed to take a picture at this angle unless you are going for a very specific aura. And that's usually like you usually have like the light or the sun coming behind them to like not like a lighting. I mean like it's almost like a halo of light And the reason you do it from down there is because it's supposed to give this like ethereal, angelic ambiance. That isn't happening here. This is just making her jaw look incredibly wide. I mean, like, that would rival most men's jaws. And the fact that, I don't know, that this really just looks like a pair of pants that got split down the middle that you're holding together with a pin. I haven't, like, the skirt's fine. I don't know what's happening here. Like, these are like 5-inch heels. So we really, like, they are desperate. I don't know what that ad was. That was terrifying. We are genuinely attempting to make her look taller. And I don't know, it's less like she's angelic and more like she's staring down her nose at us from this pose. Like, she doesn't have, like, whoever put her in this pose is not her friend at all. Miss Martin Muses. Mwah! Hello, gorgeous. It's wonderful to see you. So it's interesting because she's reinventing Snow White and Juliet. Arguably two of the most famous female protagonists in the history of literature. Because I know this is going to be shocking, but Snow White is actually a story. It's a grim fairy tale. And you know it's bad when a word gets created after you because of just how grim your stories are. There was no word to describe them, so they made one, and it was your last name. So that should tell you something. So Disney already Disneyfied. They did their Disney magic on Snow White, on Sleeping Beauty, and on Cinderella. The 3 OG princesses. They are the castles that built Disney. And we are going to get into that so incredibly, just, it's mind-blowing how bad this is. Though, what is it that George Lucas said? It's like poetry. It rhymes. If Disney crumbles because of Snow White, when Snow White is what built Disney, that is a poetic irony that you genuinely cannot write. But at the beginning of this, or when this was announced, so this, the announcement for a live action Snow White was back in like 2016, 2017, right when we were ripping up the ideology and feminism and resist, right? And Rachel Zegler got cast back in 2020 or something like that, 2021 maybe, after West Side Story hadn't even come out yet, but the director saw her in it and was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, she's it. That's the clincher. She doesn't even, like, that's who our Snow White is going to be, because she did such a bang up job in West Side Story." Not as good West Side Story. I was disappointed in it. That was they made so many changes to that as well. I mean, it was actually kind of disgusting. But that is neither here nor there. If you're not really into theater, you probably never really watched the cinema version of it, the film adaptation of the stage play. But even from the Broadway play, the Broadway musical, excuse me, I'll name it correctly, the Broadway musical to the film, the original adaptation to film, it changed so much, and it was not good. It changed. They're like, oh, it's just a song, but you're changing core elements, as we saw in the intro. You have the 3 OG princesses talking. They're hopeful. They're dreaming. They understand that hardship is part of life, and they're not holding it against anybody. They aren't feeling misled, or they aren't feeling bitter. That's a big one. And they don't feel the need to set out and burn the world to the ground because it's been unfair. Whereas Rachel Zegler's number, we very much get this angry feminist vibe from it, and that's not Snow White at all, as again we saw in this intro, but if you just go back and watch the original Snow White, it's a night and day difference. I mean, Snow White she's kind, she's thoughtful, she does her chores. Also, you can tell that Zegler either she never watched the original Snow White, or she was doing thumb exercises on her phone, where you like surf through social media or whatever while it was on, because the prince does not stalk her. He's drawn in by her beautiful voice. He doesn't even know what she looks like. He hears her, and his curiosity gets the better of him. And Snow White is in rags. Snow White is dressed in rags. She has literally been mopping the stairs to the castle, and she doesn't let it get her down. Now that's resilience. And so she's singing about it being a wishing well. She's talking to the doves, which are a symbol of peace. And it's just very, it's supposed to be a very dramatic twist when we go up to the window where the evil queen has been watching her, and it's black and it's foreboding and it's dark, and the queen has her cowl and her scowl. It is meant to be that drastic of a change for a reason. It sets up an entire, just really everything, but it sets up the entire atmosphere of the film, where no matter what Snow White goes through, she is remaining hopeful and optimistic and seeking and peaceful, whereas the queen is just this torrent of dark emotions, of vanity, of pride, of chaos. And yeah, you don't really get that with Zegler's little promo, Waiting on a Wish. It's literally about how she wants to escape the castle, and you know what? She don't need no man to help her, to save her. It makes me wonder if they're going to do the scene with the huntsman, because we saw her running through the wood. So I wonder if the huntsman is going to save her, or if she's going to figure it out on her own and get away from the huntsman, and then he is going to kill a pig to cover the fact that she got away from him. Right? As opposed to the huntsman having a conscience and not wanting to hurt this sweet, wonderful young princess, and warns her about the queen, tells her to run, and then goes and kills a pig to try and save her, right? So the huntsman literally tried to save Snow White's life. Unfortunately, of course, you have the magic mirror, and so there is no real getting away from that. The magic mirror narked. Right? But the huntsman, by God, he gave it his best effort, right? So I've watched women get torn down my whole life, and I will repeat, it's usually by other women. Women, and very petty men, very emotional men who have not mastered themselves. Women will want you to do well, as long as it's not better than they are doing. In general. That's not every woman. Like, we don't need to fly off the handle or whatever. But, ladies, I know you know what I mean when I say you always have that friend who makes a comment or is in the friend group who says something to the effect of, well, anybody could do that. Or it's not really that big of a deal. They're always trying to downplay your achievements. They're always trying to make you feel less. They're always trying to, we call them one-uppers. They're always trying to one-up your story, or one-up your experience, or one-up your misery, right? Just like, oh my gosh, guys, like, I can't hang out this weekend. My grandpa just died. I'm really sorry. It's been hard. And then immediately there in the text message is going, oh, like, I totally get it. I was thinking about calling it off as well, because I'm literally holding my grandma's hand as she slips away, and it's just so heart-wrenching. Like, they can never not be the center of attention. And that is the vibes that this chick gives off. I mean, look at her face. That is not someone who is trying to ingratiate themselves. That is not someone who is grateful for the fact that they have talent and are being paid to use it. Because, say what you will, the girl has a voice. Now, some people like it, some people don't. Some people are like, I could take it or leave it. I'm kind of in the take it or leave it camp. She's not really like blowing me away, but she's not a bad singer. Anybody that's just like, oh, Rachel Zegler can't sing. That's let's be factual. Let's stay grounded in reality. She can sing. Now, is she the best singer that I've no, in fact, those 3 OG princesses, they're voice actresses, or they're because they sometimes some of them were different for the songs, blew her out of the water by a long shot. She seems to be a belter. She can't really do like the delicate, gentle, almost like lullaby, right? In fact, there is a literal, if you go to some vocal coaches, they'll say, okay, do your Disney princess voice, your Disney princess song. It has become its own style of singing. And she just seems to be a belter, which in it on stage, I mean, makes sense. But I don't know. That it really depends like what you prefer. So I could take her or leave her. As far as her singing voice goes, her attitude really bothers me. But that is the vibes that she sort of gives off, where nobody can be better than her, but also nobody can suffer more than her. It would be, like, oh, my grandpa, it's this past weekend, a fire ran through my hometown, and I posted about this on Twitter, like 200 homes were burnt to the ground, and like last I saw, 10 businesses were destroyed. That is a lot. That is an insane amount of damage. And I was like, thankfully, I like, our house is fine. We're helping who we can when we can. And it would be like that same friend coming in and just being like, oh, I was just driving through there. That could have been my car. I could have gotten caught in that fire, and I could have been, I could have been burnt to a crisp. And so you're kind of sitting there like, bruh, I don't really know what is happening right now, but that has nothing to do with the conversation. Like, they're very they're very centric to themselves. Oops, wrong button. But it does seem like, come on, you can do it. There we go. Would it be a stream if there weren't some kind of technical difficulty? I mean, really. But it really does feel like that situation when she's talking about, I've seen women torn down my whole life. Well, consider the company that you keep, because the people that are tearing women down tend to be other women. All these women are like, oh, like female directors, female empowerment. We need more females in the chair, in production, and in director seats, and all of this stuff. But you never really hear about them. Holy crap, Ian So Forth. Thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. I've only even got 10 people on the stream. I appreciate you. And now that I've gotten completely thrown off, we'll check out the chat a little bit more. Thank you. That's insanely generous. I am humbled and thankful. Thank you so much, Ian. Legionist says, a turd is a turd, no matter how much you try to cover up the fact. Her attack on fans, the original, etc., makes her unlikable. Yes. Why do you think Disney's PR made her shut up and cancel all those premieres? It's because she cannot. She genuinely thinks she is right. She thinks her worldview is accurate and that most people share it, and the ones that don't share it are not only in the minority, but that they are wrong and need to be re-educated. Okay? That's the point of view that she is coming from, and she has made absolutely zero effort to alter that perception or do any type of self-reflection. It is 100% that. Mr. Drow says, I love Al Bundy. Son, never try to understand women. Women understand each other and they hate each other. It's true. Like, I get along with quite a few women, but we are raging psychopaths who are obsessed with just ourselves. like, we're not self-obsessed, is what I've noticed. Most of us get out of our own way and we root for each other genuinely, and we don't try to upstage or steal each other's thunder. It's a huge difference, and it makes life much, 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 much more enjoyable. In case you were curious, it's much more enjoyable this way. It's, I don't know why it always seems to be the same argument. I've seen women torn down my whole life, and it's like, okay, but by whom? Whom did you see tear them down? Because every girl dad that I have ever met, that's like, and yes, we can say, oh, it's anecdotal, but this is true. Like, you can see infinite examples on social media of this now too, but every girl dad that I know builds his girls up, tries to root for them. So it's not your dad keeping you down at all. It's not your mom. Now sometimes you do get those bitter old ladies who are like, oh, well, you know, they say a girl steals her mother's beauty. And you're just kind of like, what? And you'll get those passive aggressive comments, usually by women who are incredibly vain and incredibly self-centered, and they want to make you doubt yourself. That is their entire goal, is to make you doubt yourself. And I really wish that these women in particular would just be honest with themselves. This is a female problem. This is a woman problem. Like, you've got men who will cheer on each other and there'll be no jealousy. In fact, it usually motivates them to be better. And that is a much healthier mentality to have, and something that most women need to adapt. I mean, look at this. Like, against toxic Disney fans, you're talking about parents of children who want to take their kids to enjoy a piece of their childhood. You are talking about kids who want to see an animated film that they were introduced to by their parents adapted faithfully because they love Snow White. Snow White, to this day, is one of the most popular princesses. They love Snow White. They love her. They love that animals love her. They love that she is friendly and beautiful and graceful and humble, and that she sings really well, and that she has a genuinely warm heart. Now remember, when Snow White walks into the cabin, she starts cleaning it because she genuinely believes that children live there, and she doesn't want them to live in squalor. She doesn't want them to live in dirt and in filth. So she cleans up and she starts cooking because she's going to feed these children whom she thinks don't have a mother. And so she very cheerfully gets to work, and she's excited for when the children come home so that she can introduce herself and help them. That is her goal here. Not to I was almost going to say a word that was probably going to get me in trouble, but not to be domineering over CGI dwarves to make them clean up their own messes because she's been cleaning her whole life, and it's just not fair. So let's get into this little bit of an article from, where are we in March? Yeah, so 6 months ago, give or take. Spoiler alert, I die, Rachel Zegler says. Yes, we know. Both times. You'll have to forgive the 23-year-old actress for giving away the ending of her next project. But to be fair, it's been 400 years since a certain Englishman wrote the play in which she's making her Broadway debut. So this is really interesting because she's kind of going backwards. She did Hollywood first. She did a Broadway musical film before she got into Broadway. It's interesting. On October 24th, following a month of previews, Zegler will take the stage as Juliet in director Sam Gold's revival of Shakespeare's best-known romance. It's actually a tragedy, but okay. Things are going to get intense for her and her Romeo, played by Heartstopper star Kit Connor. Never heard of him. After all, the tagline for the production reads, "The youth are effed." That's lovely. See what I mean? Like, does she not have friends? Is this supposed to be like chainmail? Or like Anne Boleyn, is that what we're going for? Like punk Anne Boleyn without the bee necklace? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand what is happening here. Again, staring down at you in a superior manner. It bothers me. She needs real friends. This does not flatter you. And it looks wildly uncomfortable. I don't get the urban to the... You're not cultured, Lady G. Yeah, well, my tastes are more refined, I guess. In other words, you won't see them donning tunics or Elizabethan ruffs. Gold's vision leans heavily into the culture of its Gen Z cast. Oh, that's probably why I've not heard of this production or the reviews at all. Zegler says he originally pitched the project to her as Romeo and Juliet if it were in Troye Sivan's Rush music video. Huh? What? Romeo and Juliet. I'm trying to picture Romeo and Juliet and okay, hold on. We must let us gather some. Let us see. Does this juxtaposition work? I've never heard of Troye Sivan in my life. At all. Oh, okay. That's somebody's that's all right. I apologize for what we're about to witness, and I'll probably get hit. That's a butt, so I can't actually put that on screen. But yep, that was a naked butt. Okay, so here is the music video that she was apparently pitched that it was like. Oh, I'll unmute it. Oh, oops. I went to good music. Sorry. Uh-oh. Is the butt going to show up? Yeah, the butt was going to show up. I'm glad I got that off. Okay, hold on. Here we go. He's in chaps. Okay, I don't like that at all. That looks like a fever dream on a drunken night in the desert. I forgot, because I'm thinking of all the things that you can be dehydrated on, or in the middle of the ocean, like surrounded by water but can't take a drink. Hello, Grandmaster Chris. That was terrible. All right, man. If that got pitched to me, I would I would run the other way. Note to self: no chaps. Yeah, no chaps. No traps for you. No traps for me. No traps for anybody. Zegler offers her own take. Juliet will be having a brat girl summer. Oh my god. She says, joking, that like Charlie XCX and Lord, I don't know who these people are, the Montagues and Capulets will work it out in the revival. What the heck? Despite the 21st century edge, I don't think I would call that edge at all. And new music from pop super producer Jack Antonoff. Gold is sticking to the original text. It's 100% iambic pentameter, Zegler says. This is Shakespeare, and you're sitting your ass down for the play. Isn't she lovely? Since being plucked from her life as a high schooler in Hackensack, New Jersey, and handpicked by Steven Spielberg to play Maria in his 2021 remake of West Side Story, Zegler has become one of the decade's shiniest new stars. Okay, you know what's hilarious here? She literally sings a song about how you can't wait for a man to come and change your life. That's what Waiting on a Wish is. You can't just sit there and wait for Prince Charming to come riding in on his white horse and save you from your humdrum existence and your terrible life. You've got to do something. You girl, you've got the power. And yet, here we go. She was plucked from her life by Steven Spielberg. Girl, if that is not antithetical to everything you claim, then I don't think you understand what you are talking about or what you actually believe. Okay, thanks for stopping by, Corey. Much love. Mwah. Have a good night. I don't need no man unless it's Steven Spielberg. Amen. Yes, plucked. She's not a star. No, Mr. Dro, she is not a star. So she gets plucked from her life as a high schooler by Steven Spielberg to play Maria in 2021. And that is when Gold saw her and was like, oh my gosh, yes, that's Snow White. I would not say she's a shiny new star. This was only 6 months ago, and she has absolutely destroyed any and all goodwill that she could possibly have. Zegler is about to become an icon for kids the world over. She is an icon. She is the moment. Like, they tell themselves these things. I swear they do. It's insane. Also, I was dragged to Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by X-Ray Girl and Mrs. Nerdrotic, the fantastic Agent Bossy Boots. I had no idea what was going on because I've never read the books and I've never watched any of the other films. And we got to the end of it and I was like, I feel like I should understand why this was such a big deal, but I don't. And essentially they gave me a very brief synopsis of it. It's Lucy's fault that Snow became a homicidal maniac. Like, just to break it down. He was worried she was going to betray him. She messed with his mind a little bit. And then she did betray him to prove to him that he was wrong, even though he was right. It's freaking wild, bruh. Wild. Proven 22, how's it going? Oh my gosh. Adrian, Kevin, welcome. Wonderful to see you. But yeah, guys, she's about to become an icon for kids. The world over. No, she shat on those children when she said that the original sucks and that people need to get over themselves and that we're toxic. She shat on those kids and she shat on the parents of those kids. So she's not about to become an icon of anything. She is a franchise killer. She is an IP destroyer. And she may very well take the House of Mouse tumbling down with her. Playing the title role in Disney's live-action Snow White, which opens in theaters in March 2025, after it got delayed twice. In some ways, playing the fairest of them all marks an end of an era for Zegler, while heading to Broadway marks the beginning of a new one. I need to start thinking about the pivot, she says. I feel capable of being picky for the next thing. This girl literally got plucked from high school to be in Shazam, and be the female, and she was the antagonist in that movie, by the way. Female antagonist / love interest in Hunger Games. She was the star of a Broadway show. She was the star of the female protagonist in West Side Story, and now she is about to be the title character of a Disney production. And yet she wants to be picky about the next thing. Like, the vibes are not chill with this girl. Adrian, Kevin, thank you so much for the 20,000 IDR. Woof! Just wanted to give a little support, Lady G. You are fantastic. Thank you kindly, sir. I am most appreciative of it. I can't believe these words are coming out of her mouth. Like, now that I've done all of this stuff, I can be picky about my next role. I had to do this for the little plebeians, like the Snow White rule. And now that I've been Snow White, you should all kiss my feet. That's the vibes coming off. Not chill. Not chill at all. Ugh. See? Self-obsessive. Happy birthday! Listen, girl, you want to celebrate your birthday, go right ahead. But I don't need a whole variety spread and video. Because yikes. Zegler's meteoric rise has come with strings attached. Yes, it always does. Are you serious right now? She got pulled out of high school to be in some of the most incredible, one of the most incredible Broadway productions is West Side Story. There is no doubt. She got to do a Broadway debut as Juliet in Romeo and Juliet. There are actresses who bust their ass for years on stage to play Juliet. And she literally just walked into the role. There is absolutely zero gratitude. Comes with strings. Obviously, you don't just get plucked out of high school without somebody being your boss. Holy cow. For as long as she has been famous, she's been the subject of ruthless and relentless criticism. Okay, guys, so the strings are not actually that she had to work hard or that her bosses were strict with her or that, she had to give up a portion of her childhood so that she could endeavor on these things. No, it's because fans didn't immediately embrace everything and anything about her. It began innocently enough with petty jokes about her theater kid energy, which she does have, but as Zegler's fame increased, the complaints against her grew more sinister. Really? When she playfully posted about not being invited to the 2022 Oscars despite West Side Story earning 7 nominations, she was called ungrateful and entitled. Because she is! That is entitlement. Like, she wasn't playfully posting. That's called passive aggressive bitch energy. That's what she was doing. She knew that if she could get the public opinion on her side, or even the illusion of public opinion on her side, they would cave. They would instantly cave. And they knew it. She knew it. There's a reason she did that. It wasn't innocent. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't anything like that. She was absolutely ungrateful and entitled because then not only did she get invited, she presented an award. And then she tried to make like a very off, like just tone deaf joke about it. It was just horrific. It's mind-blowing to me the amount of cover being run here. For admitting that she took the role in Shazam sequel because she needed the money, she was seen as tacky and in need of media training. Okay, here's the thing. That was the thing she got the least amount of blowback for, because everybody understands being in a pinch. Everybody understands that, like, hey, like, a job is a job, money is money, as long as you're not, utterly corrupting your morals or, murdering somebody, a job is a job and money is money, right? Everybody's been there. But if I remember correctly, what she said she needed the money for was just something very shallow. Like, she tried to make it sound, but she was just like, no, that was just a joke. It was actually for, like, my grandma. She changed her story halfway through. I do not remember the details. I'll have to go look because it was just absurd. Like, it was genuinely freaking absurd what she tried to play it off as after that. And every time she speaks up about racism and sexism in the entertainment industry, she's slammed as just another DEI hire, coasting on her identity rather than her talent. I reiterate, the girl can sing. The girl cannot act. Go watch West Side Story. She can't act. Go watch Songbirds and Snakes. She cannot act. The girl can't act. She can't emote. She can't. It's terrible. It's actually quite terrible. But for her to bring up racism and sexism in the entertainment industry when she is actively shutting down little girls who want to see Snow White as they know Snow White, she is everything that she's claiming to fight against. It's wild. She's trying to have a sense of humor about the vitriol. No, she isn't. No, she is not. And now we're gonna cherry pick posts. Someone should unalive you, an ex-user wrote in August. Fun fact, I will be dying 8 times a week on Broadway this fall, she replied, telling the hater to buy a ticket and then tagging the FBI. Being famous isn't for the faint of heart, Zegler says with a sigh. Okay, hold on. Wait a second. She was being lambasted with hatred and criticism, and there's one tweet. There is one tweet that they pulled. Sorry, one post on X. Being famous isn't for the faint of heart. Girl, the internet is not for the faint of heart. Come on. When Zegler comes downstairs from her West Hollywood hotel room for breakfast, she's wearing a floral maxi dress, her hair pulled up with an oversized claw clip to show off a pair of gold hoop earrings. It's a sunny Saturday in August, and there's no makeup on her face. The look is effortless, classic cool girl, and she blends in well with the clientele brunching at tables nearby. But these are not her people. The reason I fell in love with this industry is because of was not because of this town, she says, lowering her voice to evade the ears of the locals. In fact, I kind of can't stand this town. I don't like that there's a town built around the industry that I work in. It's stifling and isolating and weird. In New York, nobody gives a F. Very eloquent, very feminine, dropping F-bombs. What is she? Why is she in a doily nightie? This girl needs real friends. Every outfit that they have had her in, and this weird bun thing in the back is just... Is this the outfit that she wore? A floral maxi dress? So, okay, so this is supposed to be a floral maxi dress with her hair pulled back, and those are the little gold hoop earrings. I wouldn't say that this look is effortless. I would say a lot of effort is getting put in very specific places. But, like, the reason you fell in love with the industry isn't because of this town. I don't even know what that means. Like, you got pulled out of high school to go be in West Side Story. Oh my gosh. Zegler's love for the 5 boroughs only redoubled after 6 months shoot in the UK for Snow White, followed by filming the Hunger Games in Poland. It's not until you have to go around the world filming in different cities. Oh yeah. What? Oh, how hard must it have been to be flown around, not have to pay for lodging or food, or have to plan any itinerary, get to see some of the most beautiful locations in the world, meet some of the nicest people, eat some of the greatest food. Oh, woe is you. That must have been difficult. I am so sorry for your hardship. Good Lord. But she's not entitled, guys. She's not entitled. Go around the world filming in different cities, you realize how grateful you are for the diversity of New York, she says. When I came home from a year in Europe, guys. A whole year in Europe, paid for by someone else. Hello, Project Storytime. Well, thank you for stopping by. Sad. It's sad. That's sad. Moms and grandparents could have shared their joy of Snow White with their kids, but modernity says older generations bad. Old generations bad. I need spell check. No, you're fine. You're fine. I can read, and so I knew what you were saying. That would have broken Gary's brain, though. It's entitlement for others to assume I must like a new thing. Absolutely. Nobody, like, I don't care who it is. I don't care what the background is. Every new project, you don't get the goodwill from the previous one. You don't. Like, every new project, it doesn't matter how great the other one was, this one has to be great on its own. Now, some people will be a little bit lenient with you. They'll be like, hey, everybody gets it wrong every once in a while. But you can't deliver bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb after insulting bomb, Disney, and expect anything to change, or not expect people to have some resentment and to stop showing up and stop paying for it. They're not getting paid to be insulted. This isn't whatever that restaurant is where you go to it because, and its whole shtick is that the waiters and waitresses are rude to you. I forget the name. But literally, they're part of their job is to give you poor customer service. It's some kind of what is that called? Is it a fetish? I don't know the word. Whatever it is, like, they pay to get insulted. It's weird. Yes, very much so, Legioness. She fell in love with the fame and fortune, but dislikes the business side of it and the people that make it work. Yep, absolutely. Yes, doilies are for tabletops. You can't tell me that those aren't doilies. Now, don't get me wrong, I have doilies. My great-grandma made them. I love my doilies. I can look at them and I can be like, a woman from literally 3 generations ago made these. Like, I am holding a piece of my family history. That is very different from sticking them on what looks like... This looks like one of those underslips that you put under a dress so that it doesn't itch. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Like, this doesn't look like a maxi dress. This looks like something that goes underneath another dress. It's bizarre. Wow, she read it right. You Cadbury skills, you from Alabama? I kid. Cobra D-Day skills, not Cadbury. Going to have to go back and listen to this gem from the start. Thanks, Pink CEO. Yes, it does look like a slip. The white pearl collar especially. Yes, absolutely. This is like what old women give young women on their wedding night to be like, to spice things up for you, for your new husband in the bedroom. Like, that is what that looks like. That is 100% what that looks like. Something just fell into my keyboard. I think it was a feather. Anyway. Did you miss a lot? Well, not quite a parking lot, but, you know, maybe like a used car lot, just one of those little fly-by-night used car lots. That's about how much you missed. What's going on, Jose Taco? God, I need a new chair. This thing is ridiculous. A year in Europe, guys. A year. On someone else's dime and someone else's time. Someone else had to do all of the planning and the prepping and the details, and she just had to show up and go where she was told and repeat some lines and eat some food and go tourisming about. That's what she had to do. Ridiculous. Oh my gosh. She is legitimately ungrateful. Going to my bodega where people speak in Spanish to me. Spain is in Europe. You know where Spanish originates from? She's performing her words, feigning heat stroke and rumbling with melodrama. I was like, oh my god, I missed you, Enrique. She's trying to make it sound like she's this little girl in the big city with the big apple dreams, and it's not coming off that way. That's what I'm saying. Like, none of this has been authentic except her hatred of fans of the original. She's giggling now, and people really wear whatever there's so many F-bombs. She has no decorum, she has no grace, she has no geniality. She's just crass. Which would explain why she stomped on stage at the Oscars like a petulant child, and why even in that, we'll go back and look, even in that Snow White promo clip, when she's coming down the stairs, it's very stompy. Like, it's not graceful at all. She's giggling now, and people really wear whatever they want. If I go out and I'm like, is this too fancy? Someone is definitely dressed more ridiculous than me in the best way, she says. She's wearing a curious accessory of her own today, a Sesame Street fanny pack slung over one shoulder. It's a nod to her ultimate career goal of being the sole human actor in a Muppets production. Michael Caine did it for Christmas Carol, she says. Tim Curry did it for Muppet Treasure Island. I want to be the one. Like, that's she wants to be the only, like, that's what we're getting at. She doesn't even hate Prince Charming or what Snow from Songbirds and Snakes, and she was the snake, by the way. Like, she wants to be I bet you she loved the fact that it was CGI dwarves. I bet she was like, can we CGI the Evil Queen and like all the other characters? Can it just be me, the only human, the center, the star, the one? Like, how are you not entitled when you say that? What? Exactly. Polish father. Mother was Colombian. She literally went back to the roots of her father. She was in Poland for 6 months, and she has nothing kind to say about it. Nothing at all. Yes, she wears her emotions on her skin like a spoiled child. Yes, very much so. I would say she would be a better fit for the Evil Queen, but that's just me. Nope, not entitled at all, Adrian. Not entitled at all. For now, Zegler's in her princess era. It's been a mixed bag. Her appointment as the apple-eating stepdaughter of the Evil Queen drew instant ire online, with many promising to boycott the film due to the woke casting. To them, the actress's Colombian heritage disqualified her from playing the princess from Disney's 1937 musical fantasy. That was not it. Described as having hair as black as ebony and skin as white as snow. Yes, because that's literally the fairy tale. It's a German fairy tale. Never mind the fact that the character Blancanieves is just as popular in Spanish-speaking countries as she is in the US. Yes, Snow White is popular in Spanish-speaking countries. I'm going to reiterate, Spain is in Europe. Jesus wept. Jesus, what? Save me. Oh my gosh. She was my mom's favorite princess, Zegler said. When she was growing up, there wasn't a lot of dark-haired princesses, and that was the one she could relate to. Wow, way to make your mom sound shallow and entitled. Dark, and there were a lot of dark-haired princesses. Oh, okay. All right. So, by dark-haired, do you mean not blonde? Because, there's a lot of those. There's a lot of those. So, what exactly are you getting at? Because in the 90s Renaissance especially, so Cinderella and Aurora were both blonde, okay? Snow White, literally, hair as black as ebony. She's got black hair. Okay. You have Princess Jasmine. You know what? Sorry, visuals. Visuals. I'm trying to get better at this. You guys have always told me more visuals. Disney princesses. Let's try and find the group. Let's find us a big old group. Okay. You know what? I would say there's a lot more not blondes than there are blondes. I don't think I'm going out on a limb when I say this. We've got Snow White, Mulan, Pocahontas, Tiana, Jasmine. We've got 2 redheads, Ariel and Mira. And then, of course, you've got Belle. She's got brown hair. So you have 3 blondes. Aurora, Cinderella, and Rapunzel. Also, can I just say, I love that Cinderella's dress is the accurate silver. I hate that it is constantly promoted and merchandised as blue. Cinderella's dress was not blue, it was silver. It looked blue under the moonlight. It's devastating to me that people do not get that accurate, because Cinderella's dress is supposed to reflect, it's supposed to be a reflection of starlight. Like, she is, like, beauty that comes from within. It's shining through. That was what the silver dress is supposed to represent. Humility, gracefulness, purity, and an inner beauty that shines outward. That is what her silver dress was supposed to mean. And it always gets marketed as blue. So I love that it is the accurate silver dress. Thank you to whoever did this picture. But I see 3 blondes, guys. I see 3. Maybe I'm crazy, but I only see 3. Man, Disney was a lot more diverse, accurately diverse, when they weren't trying, huh? Oh, ridiculous. Yeah, Pocahontas, thank you, Mr. Joe. Pocahontas, Snow White, Mulan. Poland is a great nation, very Christian. It's 98% Catholic. It is 98% Catholic. And they do not allow refugees in. And so it is like the safest country in Europe, because it doesn't let anybody in, and it punishes crime severely. Very Christian, very Catholic, very anti-communist, very strong borders, and a nation that loves its people. Absolutely, it loves its history, it loves its people, it loves Christ, it loves families. It's just wild to me what is happening. Yep, Jasmine, Sultan, what's going on? Conroy 1776, CPAP and headphones on, playing Halo and listening to this blunt truth. LOL. Well, hopefully you're digging it. You are absolutely correct, Legionist. Princess Leia is a Disney princess now, and she does not have blonde hair. Absolutely. Hello, Sultan. All races represented, none better, no worse, all princesses, no rewriting of their stories for DEI. Exactly. Oh, is that I know, right? And they're saying that we need more representation. Bro, they got it right when they weren't even trying. I guess technically Nala is a princess, even though she's a lion and she has blonde hair, like blonde fur, but we're kind of pushing it there, right? Little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. Like, it's wild to me that this is not enough. Poland. So yeah, she spends a year at literally her family, her lineage comes, half of her lineage comes from Poland, and she doesn't have a nice thing to say about it in the article whatsoever. It's insane. Yeah, but wasn't she a princess at first? Technically, like King of the Lions. And that because they're betrothed or whatever. Remember the song? Oh, I just can't wait to be king. Oh, Disney. Freaking ridiculous. Isn't the Black Cauldron Disney too? I don't know. That's another stream for another time. It's no surprise that Snow White director Mark Webb, Webb, not Gold, wanted Zegler for the role the moment she read for the part. He says his script supervisor wept upon hearing her singing voice, but she also has an inherent grace, poise, and goodness that reminds me so much of what is essential to Snow White. Really? She does, huh? Grace, poise, and goodness. This is the same Rachel Zegler who was taking pot shots at her co-star, who actually is from Israel and knows about the conflict that is occurring there. Like, that Rachel Zegler, the one who stomped on stage because she didn't want to present an award with Gal Gadot, the one who told fans to get over themselves and that the original story is dated, and evidently so. I mean, you can put whatever you want on paper. That don't make it true. So Zegler doesn't bother trying to understand why it's so hard for some of those die-hard Disney adults to picture a Latina in their beloved princess's shoes. She's making a children's movie after all, and she remembers spending her own childhood obsessing over ABC's 1997 TV movie that starred Whitney Houston as the fairy godmother alongside an 18-year-old Brandy as Cinderella. Oh, okay, you're not Whitney Houston or Brandy. I grew up in a house where that was Cinderella. Obviously, we watched the cartoon, but as a child's mind is the most amazing thing where it's just like, okay, that's Cinderella. But the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, blue dress, it's not blue, it's silver. Cinderella from the 1950s cartoon is also Cinderella. Also, Hilary Duff is Cinderella in a Cinderella story. She smirks. I was able to comprehend those things at a young age. She just called all of us stupid. So here's the thing. Disney is adapting its own source material, where Snow White is accurate to the Grimm fairy tale, at the very least physically. Like, obviously, the story itself is far less dark, far less grim. This woman is trying to make parallels that don't exist, and she is insulting everybody else, saying that we simply cannot comprehend her greatness. That's what this is saying. We can't comprehend her greatness. I know Rachel will be absolutely incredible in this role, Brandy says in an email 26 years after her star turn in Cinderella. She's also got some advice for Zegler as she faces the barrage of negativity over her casting. You're not taking on this role to fit the mold of critics. You're doing this for every little Colombian girl who has yet to see themselves in a role like a Disney princess. What? So, once again, rather than creating a unique, beautiful story surrounding a princess of Colombian descent, you're just going to distort the actual source material. Okay. Yep. They try to put all of this spin on it and like we're the bad ones, but really this is just narcissism, and never ever could they admit that maybe they are in fact the problem. Wild. As for that line about skin as white as snow, Zegler reveals the new film has its own origin story for her last name. It fell back on another version of Snow White that was told in history. It wasn't. This was not told in history anywhere. You can't find this. Where she survived a snowstorm that occurred when she was a baby, and so the king and queen decided to name her Snow White to remind her of her resilience. One of the core points in our film for any young woman or young person, so not young man, is remembering how strong you actually are. I didn't think I could hate this film that much more, but I really, really do. Okay, I thought so. They don't like to acknowledge it. It's their stepchild. What makes it dark in the Grimm's fairy tale? Oh, bro. Well, she actually tries. So the queen finds her several times, first tries to get her to try on a corset that would crush her ribs and make her drown in her own blood. Then there was the poison comb, where when she would put it into like her hair or whatever, it would scratch her skin, and it would like essentially just like she wouldn't be able to stop bleeding. And then she disguises herself as an old beggar lady with the bushel of apples, and gives it to her. And then I don't think I can say that on YouTube. So remember how in the animated film she wants Snow White's heart? Yeah. She gets it. Is that the best way that I can put that? Like, it's pretty grim, bro. It's pretty grim. That's the best way that I can put. I think that's the safest way that I can put that. Yes, she is a narcissist. Yeah, make a Latina princess then. Don't race swap. Yeah, they did. They have oh gosh, what's it's a Disney show. It's called Elena of Avalor. Make that live action adaptation. Holy cow. It's not hard, guys. Same woman who said it was okay to represent Puerto Rico for West Side Story, even though she's mostly Colombian. Yeah, she's half Colombian and half Polish, but she's speaking for Puerto Rican community. And then she had that whole. If you guys haven't checked out Disbrew's video on it, she's doing this interview, and they're like, "Well, did you grow up in the culture with the food?" And she's like, "Does it matter? Do you speak the language? Does it matter?" Like, she's so wildly entitled. She thinks that she just speaks for everybody. It's insane. We all know about the poisoned apple, but the original version in Grimm's fairy tale, the Wicked Queen tries to both suffocate Snow White. Yes. She tries to suffocate her with the cursed corset, and then she has the cursed comb. All that stuff. Wouldn't Chell from El Dorado be Colombia's Disney princess entry? I mean, that's DreamWorks. That's not Disney, but I see what you're saying. Queen pulls the Temple of Doom. There you go. In this Snow White, the Queen gives Snow White an empanada. Yes, see? I know I wasn't crazy. Yes, Adrian is correct. It is DreamWorks. Yes. Hello, Hook. It has been a long time. Thanks for stopping by. Heart. Oh my goodness. Social media outrage. So see, they're trying to downplay this as, oh, it's just a couple of haters online. It's just social media outrage. About Zegler being cast as Snow White only got louder as time went on. She began saying in red carpet interviews in the summer of 2020 that her version of the iconic princess wouldn't spend her days pining over a man. She called the aspects of the original story weird and said that the 1937's prince literally stalks Snow White, which we saw in the intro is not true. He hears this angelic voice and it draws him in. He doesn't know what she looks like. He doesn't know she's a princess. She is in rags when he finds her. She is scrubbing the castle stairs. She's leaning over a well, singing into it. He's drawn in by her beautiful voice. And then when he scales the wall, he sees her being kind to the animals and her wistfulness and just her kindness literally just comes forth out of her, and he can see that by the way she's treating the animals around her and how even in rags she isn't allowing it to drag her down. Ugh. Overnight, online trolls, once again guys, it's not her fault, it's everybody else's fault, took shots at Zegler's disdain for the animated classic, deeming her unworthy of portraying the OG Disney heroine. She's already admitted that she didn't like Disney's Cinderella as the OG Cinderella. Nobody that I know is upset with Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. Lots of people made fun of the fact that apparently if you have a white king and a black queen, because that's who it was in that, you get a Hispanic prince. Everybody made fun of that. Literally everybody made fun of it. Okay? but the story itself was good, and it wasn't trying to be a retelling. It wasn't trying to be a live action adaptation of the Disney Cinderella story. It's just insane. Ugh. Okay. Oh, let me. She looks like one of the seven dwarves in this picture. I'm not crazy, right? Like, this is not flattering. Same look on her face. Same look. Am I crazy? Is this flattering? Do you guys find this flattering? She looks like one of the hang on. Hold on. Tell me that I'm crazy when you see this. Tell me that I'm crazy. Is that not what that looks like? Who? This girl needs real friends. Hello, subhuman. Yes, I know I'm crazy, but I mean about this. Like, have I lost it? But like, tell me that isn't like that is almost bang on the cards from Alice in Wonderland. Zegler did us a favor. If I didn't know better, I'd say she was a psyop. She's done nothing but good for us, just being herself. So a woman pining over a man is a bad thing now. Yes. Yes, true love, bad. Even though true love conquers all. But true love, bad. Strong men, bad. Girl falling in love with strong man who will protect her from the evils of feminism and corporatism and just the general insanity and filth of the world, bad. She looks like she's trying her mom's clothes while being in elementary school. Yes! Yes! Absolutely! Crazy in the best way. Thanks, Proven. I'm sane. I appreciate it. Right? That's what I'm saying. This is just wildly... That's just way too crazy. What are the fates from Hercules? No. No, 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 no. Those girls are gorgeous. All of them. Oh, no. You're right. Oh, the fates. Not the muses. My bad. The fates are the ones that share the eyeball. My brain went to the muses first. Whoops. Okay, so here's what I was thinking. This is what was coming to my mind was the muses. Which, by the way, nobody got pissed about the muses and their skin. Like, nobody got pissed about this. See what I mean? Boom. I always wanted her hair. Oh my gosh. I was like, Mommy, how do I get that hair? And she's like, you can't have it, baby. It's not real hair. Nobody has that hair. Oh, I always wanted it, though. Uh-oh. One sec. Excuse me. I had to sneeze. No, men can't save women now. It's sexist and it steals their agency or some trash like that. Yep. Did you watch Real BBC? Gary asked you to bookmark something if you were watching. I did, and I did. Thank you very much. I appreciate you looking out. Much love. Thank you. Yes, it was about crooked media. If you guys haven't watched today's Real BBC, you should go watch that because it was hilarious. I was listening to it while I was cooking stuff to take to some of the families. So, yeah, this is this like bruh. It's just she does not have a friend in that room because a friend would not look at these shoes. There is oh my gosh. Do you guys remember the clowns, like the freaky clowns from Dumbo? Where is it? Da, 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 da. See, this is what happens when you just wing it. But it's okay. Like, it's the same shoes, just in a different color. Oh my gosh, do you have that style in a different color? Like, what are they doing to this poor girl? I actually feel kind of bad. That makes sense? I don't know. It's wild. Wild. You wouldn't be able to get me in those shoes for $10 million. Yes, those are torture devices on her feet. Yes, hello, Opus. Greetings, welcome. You walked into insanity. That's what you walked in on. She grows somber. I love how they're trying to give you like a play-by-play. I guarantee you this girl didn't emote at all during this entire interview. She grows somber, recalling the hate that erupted during that time. In all honesty, it made me sad that it was taken in such a way, because I believe that women can do anything, but I also believe that they can do everything. No, we can't. And you spreading this lie is just gonna shove you further down the denial, the trail of denial. And when you finally are able to be honest with yourself, you're going to hate the reality that you are faced with. So you're going to go even more down, like further down that trail of denial. And you're going to become more bitter, and you're going to become more disconnected, and you're going to hate anybody and everybody that ever tried to help you course correct even more, because you're going to realize they were right, but they can't be right because that means you would be wrong. So you have to cling to this venom and this hatred, because otherwise it destroys the very carefully constructed lie that you have told yourself in order to allow yourself to be as entitled as you are. What she'd meant to convey was that Snow White wants romance, but has other goals too. That isn't what she meant to convey. Not at all. Like, she literally said that we could just cut the prince out completely. You never know. It's Hollywood. How about we just cut her role out completely? I would never want to box someone in and say, if you want love, then you can't work. Oh my God! Bro. Oh, or if you want to work, then you can't have a family. It's not true. It's never been true. It can be very upsetting when things get taken out of context or jokes don't land. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't taken out of context. She's literally trying to backpedal because she put those clown shoes in her mouth. And she is trying to extract them without busting teeth. And it's not going to happen. The insanity of this is that she actually thinks that being a stay-at-home wife and mother is boxing somebody in. Like, they don't actually work. This is proof that these people do not value family at all. And they think that if you are a stay-at-home wife and mother, and you are raising your children and you homeschool, do you know how much work that is? Do you know how much work this girl, no, she did a year in Europe that was paid for by somebody else, that was planned by somebody else. Her itinerary was someone, all the details were someone else's problem. She didn't have to plan, she didn't have to organize, she didn't have to clean, she didn't have to cook. Same thing when she got home. Didn't have to plan, didn't have to organize, didn't have to clean, didn't have to cook. She was surrounded by her people and they were speaking Spanish. Spain is in Europe. Spain is in Europe. Almost everybody in Europe can do at least conversational Spanish. I can't tell you how many times I have wished that it were possible for me to be a stay-at-home wife and mother and homemaker. Like, my house would be in order and I wouldn't have to spend hours on the weekend trying to do a week's worth of work in a day. I would be like, and trying to catch, and you've got birthday parties and you've got birthday parties, you've got friends that want to come over, you want to go over to friends' house, you've got church functions, you've got family functions, you've got rest that you need to catch up on, not to mention, you want to go on walks with the family, you want to go exercise as a family, you want to take the kids fit, you want to build memories with your family. You cannot do that in 2 days. It's mind-blowing that she's so entitled that she doesn't realize what a blessing it is to have a full-time parent. It's just unbelievable. My goodness. It's just insane. Yeah, my husband would have to bring home something like $120,000 a year for me to be for me to stay home and homeschool and stuff like that. Bro, like, and that's before taxes. Like, that's gross. That's not net. Like, what would that net him? Like 80,000 or something like that, which is insane, but that's about what it would be. And that's to cover food for people and animals. That's to cover mortgage. That's to cover utilities. That's to cover any, like, oh my gosh, I swear a vehicle is always breaking or something in the house is always breaking. It's just, divide by 2. Yeah, so if he made 120, so see, we were even off then. He'd be making 60,000. It's not possible for the vast majority since they doubled the workforce. Yeah, U.S. government, I hate it. All about self-indulgences and independence, etc. Yep. So, like Snow White in the trailer. Yeah, exactly. Yes, most women would choose to stay at home if they could, if it were possible. Remember when she made the doors clean their own house in the trailer? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Like, Snow White wasn't just fair from her beauty, but also her heart. She was beautiful inside and out. She cleaned the house because she thought it was children. Rachel Zegler's Snow White makes the dwarves clean their own home because she ain't gonna serve no man. Certainly not 7 of them. Like, it's just insane to me, the lack of compassion and kindness and the fundamental misunderstanding of the character herself. It's just it's an absolute disservice and a blatant disrespect to anybody and everybody who loves that story and that iteration and the message that it conveys about kindness, about self-sacrifice, about humility, about being a person whom others can depend on for help. I'm just it's just mind-boggling at the hatred. So we'll skip all of this because it's just more lies, because now suddenly the love story is very integral. And a lot of people wrote that we weren't doing that storyline anymore. We were always doing that. It just wasn't what we were talking about on that day. Ugh! You literally said all of his parts could get cut and that he wasn't important. That oh my God, she's trying. This girl is a liar, a manipulator. She's attempting to gaslight the audience into believing things, or into believing that things that she said and did weren't things she said and did. It's, oh my God, I hate this so much. She is so bitter. And what's hilarious to me, are we ready for this? Zegler's not surprised what people's willful misunderstandings about her comment. It's par for the course for an outspoken young woman in the public eye. Are you serious? I've watched women get torn down my whole life, my whole career. Your career has been 4 years. Your career has been 4 years. And you tore down Snow White and every little girl and every teenage girl and every grown girl who loved her for what she represented, for her kindness, for her gentleness, for her softness, for her beauty, for her unending hope, for her desire to see the good in everyone. Some creepy old lady walks up to my window with a basket of apples, I'm going to think twice. But Snow White ran out there because she thought that the beggar woman, who was actually the evil queen, was having a heart attack, took her into her home, and then helped nurse her back to health, or so she thought. Every girl who has ever loved Snow White for exactly who she was portrayed as, you crapped on them. You decided that they were wrong. You decided that they were outdated. You decided that dreaming of a man who loves you for who you are, who sees past the rags and who sees past the labor that you've been doing, and who notices who you are on the inside and the joy that you bring to others around you, and he falls in love with you for that. You tore those women down. And the men who wanted to be that example, who wanted to be that prince for the woman they care about, you tore them down too. Absolutely disgusting that you're going to utter those words when all you did was completely and totally annihilate the childhood nostalgia for some and the childhood hope of others that are currently going through and that cling to these stories. Escapism is necessary. I have talked about this ad nauseum on so many streams and in so many videos. You cannot stay in reality 24/7. You will go insane. You can't stay in escapism 24/7. You will go insane. You need a balance of both. And Snow White was that promise. Snow White was one of those escapes. It was, if you are kind, if you are generous, if you are thoughtful, it doesn't matter the situation you are in, the correct man who is meant for you will see what you truly have to offer. And he will be there for you. And together, you can overcome even death itself. That is a beautiful message. It's unbelievable to me that she is going to spew this vitriol when it is exactly what she did. And why people are letting her get away with it and not calling her out for tearing down every young girl, young woman, and older woman who loves Snow White is mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing. Freaking ridiculous. Hello, stunning and brave Megatron. How are you doing? Unbelievable. I'm done with this article. I'm so angry. So, remember the title of this? Toxic Disney Fans. She's watched women get torn down her whole life and her super short career of 4 years, where she was given lead role after lead role after lead role. Unfreaking believable. 2, Snow White backlash is due to passion for original movie. We're not always going to agree with everybody. Someone sent her the Henry Cavill clip where he got asked about toxic fans, and they were like, you need to sound more like this. This is her PR team doing damage control. This is from February of this year. This is less than a month ago. Because her film is on track to destroy the Disney vault. And I'm not talking about the one where they locked Song of the South away. I am talking about the one that holds the gold. She is going to, like I said at the beginning of this, it would be some kind of poetic irony if one of the OG princesses, the main OG princess, who helped build the House of Mouse, when they came back around to it, it's the one that tears it down. Unreal. Snow White star Rachel Zegler says backlash against Disney's latest live-action remake is due to passion for the original film. You didn't care about that 6 months ago. You didn't care about that a year ago. You didn't care about that 2 years ago. Oh my gosh. While Disney's live-action re-releases have seen better days since 2019's The Lion King, the Snow White rehash has been a particular point of contention. Point of contention? What? It's been a flat out I'm not gonna cuss, but oh Lord, it makes me want to. In some circles, due to Zegler's Colombian... Oh my gosh, we're back on this. Oh my gosh, it has nothing to do with her Colombian heritage. She's half Polish. If she stayed out of the sun for like 3 months, I guarantee you her skin would lighten up. Oh my gosh. What in the ever-loving snowstorm? Oh, angry. I am so angry. I got nobody for my own. All right, we're good. The outrage came to a head when the Y2K, oh, I forgot she was in that bomb of a film, star called the 1937 original Dated, featuring a prince that literally stalks Snow White. They're trying to take stuff out of context so that they can rejig it and rewrite history. We all saw it. We all know. Zegler now says she interprets the controversies as an overprotective reaction to a beloved Disney classic. That isn't what happened. That isn't what you said. And I doubt very sincerely that she did any kind of... Does she sound like the type of person that's going to do any type of introspective soul searching and come to this conclusion all on her own? No. This is her PR team desperately trying to save their disaster of a film. Oh, thank you for stopping by, David Foley. Deuces. Mwah. Much love. No, I can't let it out, Adrian Kevin. I will not swear. I won't do it. I won't give her the satisfaction. Cavill is a class act. I'm glad people like him help set the standard. I agree. Toxic fans, more like passionate fans. Henry Cavill. Yeah, exactly. When it comes to fans, it is a fan... Oh, we're quoting here. So this is what Cavill said when he was asked this. This was on the spot. This wasn't prepared. This wasn't, like his publicist gave this to him because they were trying to do damage control. This was his legitimate response to the question about toxic fans. When it comes to fans, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have, and people are going to be upset. I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passion. And what he was talking about was how he's okay. So I've said this before on some other people's streams. Henry Cavill is what we would call a lore loyalist. He wants to stick to the source material as closely as possible, and that is why with like The Witcher, he was called difficult to work with. They were upset that he would have discussions with one of the other members of the crew, and they would talk about the games and they would talk about the books and how they could incorporate that more, and that it was just a very suffocating thing to have that perfectionism sort of lorded over them. I'm paraphrasing. That's not exactly what they said, but that is essentially the point they were trying to make, right? And that's why he gets so much flack. So I found out today during the Nooner that he and the producer, was it the producer? I can't remember. You need to go onto Nerdrotic Live and you need to watch today's Nooner, because apparently Cavill had a whole script written for Man of Steel 2, and it was it was like fleshed out, it was done, and it was like a Man for All Seasons Superman. And they went with Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Superman, which still hasn't seen the light of day. Yes, Bo DeMeo was talking. Like, I think it was that part. It may have been a super chat. But it's just wild to me that they had an entire finished script. They had the director, they had everything ready to go, and they got told no. They went with Ta-Nehisi Coates instead, and J.J. Abrams. WB cannot get out of their own freaking way. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Yes, hello Charlie Stevenson, but yeah, this whole thing is a load of manure. They are attempting to claim that we, the audience, don't actually understand what she said or what she did because she didn't really say or do that. That's what she's trying to claim. It's wild. I interpret people's sentiments towards this film as passion. No, you don't, Zegler told Vogue Mexico. What an honor to be a part of something that people feel so passionately about. We're not always going to agree with everyone who surrounds us, and all we can do is our best. Quotes were independently translated from Spanish to English by Variety. What? That isn't any... She was told to say this because they are in deep trouble. That is what happened. She continued, go away, player. She continued, I understand that controversy comes from the community not wanting to be seen as a monolith, but the reality of being Latino, and you're a Latina girl, and working in this industry is that we try to represent the entire diaspora. I know where I've been. She doesn't know that word. I know where I've been. I represent it in my narrative, and I carry it in my heart every day. No one can ever tell me that it's not a part of me. Who is telling you that your childhood is not a part of you? That where you come from is not a part of you? That being Colombian is not a part of you? Nobody said that. Talk about a straw man. Oh my gosh. This girl is insane. At the end of the day, she said this to Andrew Garfield. We need to love them in the right direction, Zegler said at the time. At the end of the day, I have a job to do that I'm really excited to do. I get to be a Latina princess. So she doesn't care about the character of Snow White, about the Princess Snow White at all. This is about her. This is about exalting herself and diminishing the character of Snow White and the story of Snow White so that it serves her purpose and her narrative. And this whole re-education commie crap that she was telling Andrew, oh my gosh, I can't. This second Spider-Man, between Toby and Tom Garfield, Andrew Garfield. She's telling this to Andrew Garfield, like, yeah, they need, like, we need to change their minds. We need to love them in the right direction. Because she can't say what she really wants to say, even though she said what she really wanted to say on her Instagram story when she said, I hope that Trump and everyone that voted for him never know peace, which is over half the country. And remember, in this article, she said, we'll have to wait and see what the election brings. And then it didn't bring what she wanted. And now she has to damage control. Who is dressing and styling this girl? Somebody save her. Please, for the love of God. Please save her. Even my worst enemy, I wouldn't wish whatever this is on them at all. I don't know what this is. This isn't even... If you're going to do a middle part, then do a middle part. But not this weird, like, crooked, blunt bang look. It's just terrible. Rachel Zegler supported by fans following release of divisive Snow White trailer. This is December of 2024. Zegler's casting in the lead role generated controversies from critics who were unhappy about the fictional character being portrayed by a person of color. That's not it. That isn't it. See how they worded this? The fictional character being portrayed by a person of color. They're trying to say that it doesn't matter. But then but it really does. Which is why they did swapping. And then we got this gem from the Daily Mail because they're so... These guys are super trustworthy, but I actually believe this. I don't know. There we go. Shocking new claim about woke Snow White star Rachel Zegler as Disney ramps up damage control after controversy. And basically, this is from page 6, which, again, this is gossip stuff, but the company doesn't know what to do with Zegler because of her repeated insistence on airing progressive views. Zegler was put front and center of the film's European premiere. Leading lady wasn't given a chance to speak to any global press because they weren't invited to the secret event. So this is what they should have done all along. Stick her in 2 dresses, put her in front of castles, and have her sing to little girls in the crowd who have their tiaras and their wands and their dresses on. That's what you should have done for this whole tour. Don't let her talk to anybody. Don't let anybody ask her questions. Like, have Gal Gadot do her thing. Have Rachel Zegler do her thing. That's what they should have done. But they didn't, and now they're paying for it. VIPs, which included influencers and families, though the event raised eyebrows as she was the only star in attendance, with not even Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, present. Disney are reportedly treading carefully with Zegler after she has made a series of bold comments panning the original 1930 classic for its sexist traditional romance plot and dated love story. Disney's lead actress is out of control, a source told Page Six. They don't know what to do. She's outspoken 20-something, and the Disney chiefs have called her directly and asked her to tone down her posts. They've called her management, but she won't listen. It's been this way the entire way through filming, but it's the tying of her politics to Snow White that is upsetting. Wednesday's European event was carefully not referred to as a premiere after Disney scaled back the glitzy global premieres in favor of tightly controlled press events following the scandals and PR nightmares surrounding the film. Rather than the usual list of major news outlets flocking to the event, local Spanish influencers and families from the small city of Segovia, which boasts a population of just 51,000, that's a pretty good-sized city, were among the chosen VIPs in attendance. Zegler's co-star Gadot was absent, and only director Mark Webb accompanied Zegler to the event. How bad does it have to be that literally nobody but the director who handpicked you shows up with you? Just how bad is it? Does it have to be? Hello, hurts, don't it? It does hurt. This really hurts Disney, for sure. Disney's finding out that blaming the audience is a failing business practice. Yes, it is. And we're going to get, I'm going to show you guys a short that has to do with, it's a company called Chewy, if you guys have ever had pets and if you're aware of what that company is and what they do. So, let's see. Scaled back European event replaced the glitzy London premiere that had been expected for the high budget release. An LA event is also said to have been scaled back. Earlier this month, an insider told Mail, Disney are already anticipating an anti-woke backlash against Snow White and have reduced the media schedule to just a handful of tightly controlled press events. This is the problem. It has nothing to do, like, it isn't the fact that this is, so it isn't the fact that this is woke. It isn't that. It doesn't help, but your title character star has insulted, belittled, defamed, and dismissed generations, at least 3 generations worth of Disney fans. 3 generations of Disney fans. That is insane. I mean, wildly insane. That is where she's sitting. So even if this had been outside of her casting a beat for beat, 1 for 1 adaptation of the Disney film, of the animated film, people still wouldn't show up to see it because she has treated them so badly. Why would they give her the time of day? Why would they? She isn't a star. She's not a star. She's not a draw. That Y2K movie that was mentioned earlier, I don't remember. It bombed. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like Az, I think, covered that over on Heel versus Babyface. It was atrocious. Songbirds and Snakes did not make any money that I recall. I didn't even remember that she was in Romeo and Juliet. And West Side Story, I don't think that made very much money. And then Shazam! Fury of the Gods also bombed. Like, I know she wasn't like a lead role in that, but that also bombed. So where this ego is coming from, I have no idea. And where this blatant disrespect towards fans is coming from, my guess is she has thought she's better than everybody for her entire life. And these roles that she's been handed just reinforced her opinion of herself, essentially. That's what I am gathering. So, Snow White slammed by Little Women LA guest star over use of CGI dwarfs. We were shut out. So, this is more towards Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage cost 7 dwarf actors a job. 7 different dwarf actors a job. with his angry, vitriolic statements. So we'll go to this article really quick because I think they even... Where is it? It's a movie. It's supposed to have real dwarves. Instead, Disney chose to use CGI to replace actors and actresses that are little people that are very talented, Chapman told TMZ. And I think they missed the boat. Is she the one that says, all the little people out there are freaking actors and actresses that love to have parts in this kind of movie, and everyone's trying to get their dreams to come true, and it just seems like we're getting our dreams shut out by Disney and Hollywood. That's 7 roles right there. 7 little people that could have filled those roles, and unfortunately, we were shut out of that opportunity. There was another person that said it was all because of Peter Dinklage's comments, and that it's proof that he has too much... Literally, no, here we go. So Peter Dinklage's comments, literally no offense to anyone, but I was still taken aback when they were very proud to cast a Latina actress as Snow White, but you're still telling the story of Snow White and the 7 dwarves. And so you're progressive on one way, but then you're still making it a backward story about 7 dwarves living in a cave together. They're not living in a cave. What are you doing, man? Have I done nothing to advance the cause for my soapbox? I guess I'm not loud enough. So that's when the turmoil started, and now like a bunch of actors and actresses who have dwarfism are really pissed at him. Rightfully so, because he pulled that ladder up behind him so that they couldn't start catapulting their careers. It's just insane. We're going to have just a little bit of fun, and we're going to laugh because God knows I need it.
If I saw this movie on a plane, I would still walk out. This trailer makes me want to sit on the TV and look at my couch.
One of the best ones.
I paid nothing to watch this trailer, but I
already want my money back.
Coming to a theater near you, me is that
Is
a
that a
threat?
threat?
They should have made Rachel
CGI
CGI instead.
Bro, it would have been an improvement if they had made Rachel CGI instead.
Von Brown and the
74
months.
Bro.
The
Deceit.
CGI looks much better when I turn my monitor on.
Shut it off. Don't look at it.
Disney invites you and I must
politely decline.
politely decline. I'm rooting for the poison apple. Why is Lord Farquaad playing Snow White?
Don't do my man Lord Farquaad dirty like that. He didn't do nothing to y'all.
This movie should come with
the
a
disclaimer.
No dwarfs were harmed, but your child might be.
Can you tell I've listened to this a couple of times? It's true though.
I haven't seen
And actually 7 dwarves were harmed, to be fair.
something self-imposed this hard since that time. Mirror on the wall as a
The production behind this is glorious.
German I claim cultural appropriation. Mirror on the wall. Snow White in the 70s CGI abomination. Making the dwarfs look like a
This
PS1
one
hack.
actually was a bull. Oh my god, this one.
Was a bold choice. Rachel
Zegler
Zegler
looks
looks
like
like
a
a
mad
medieval squire
fire
boy. Marvel's lost $237 million. Snow White. Oh
Would
my
not
beard.
do.
Disney used to make people famous. Now
Now
it
it's
ends
acting
acting careers.
This is so accurate. It did used to make people famous, and now it ends careers. Chris Hemsworth is having to dig himself out of the PR nightmare that has been Disney Thor. He can't get taken. It's just wild what he's having to overcome. Momoa is having to dig his way out. It's just holy crap on a cracker, Raider. Thank you so much for the 5738. And like the Raider that he is, he drops his random amount and then walks away. Absolute G. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much obliged. I appreciate it. And 20 gifted memberships. Good God. Thank you, sir, for your generous. You guys have been exceedingly generous this evening. And I can Ian so forth, Raider, Adrian, Mexican Iron Man. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. And thank you for everybody in chat who is still sticking with me because this, God knows, this has been this has been torture and a half. Thank you so much, Raider. Holy cow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's finish this Fantastic song. If you guys are not subscribed to Chat Music, you absolutely should be. They are fan-freaking-tastic. Oh yeah, Mr. The Thor movies got worse as they went along, and the poor dude. Yes, Chris Hemsworth wanted it to be something great. He wanted Thor to be a strong male that could be, you know, somebody that that young boys could look up to. He's got sons of his own. He talked about that, right? Henry Cavill talked about his nephews with Superman. Momoa talked about you know, his nephews, his, like, they all talked about this. Ben Affleck, like, they talk about this, and when they say it, for some reason it's toxic and problematic. But when girls like Rachel Zegler talk about how they're going to be a Latina princess and stand up for all those little girls who look just like them and insult 3 to 4 generations of Snow White fans, somehow that's not a problem. It's just insane. Just insane. But yeah, the Thor films, like, poor Chris Hemsworth, he is basically trying to restart his career because of all of the brand damage from Disney. It's just awful that he even has to do that. Yes, I do love the Extraction movies. Yes, very, like, those were very, that's why he did a second one. You're absolutely correct. His first movie was a great intro movie. Yes, it needs to be bro humor at times, but also serious for Thor to work. Exactly. And Thor Ragnarok was it made a joke. Thor Love and Thunder and Thor Ragnarok were written, produced, and directed by people who hate Thor. That's what that was. And they did not have to do Fat Thor in Endgame. Like, all it was about tearing him down. That's it. So, yes, Disney used to make people famous, and now it ends acting careers is probably the most accurate zinger comment in this entire thing.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, why the seats are empty in cinema hall. Mirror, mirror on the wall, what's the biggest Disney flop of all?
It's so good. They've got all of these. They've got part 2 and part 3, but part 1 is still my favorite. We're not going to watch the other ones because, oh Lord, I don't need to get struck more than I will likely be struck. But that is, so Disney is battling with itself over its inability to choose someone who can actually embody Snow White. Because Rachel Zegler is not that good of an actress. I promise you it's going to come through on screen as well. I don't know why so many people are, I guess, falling for it. I don't know. But even if you just look at the here. Where is the, oh gosh, this song. I actually loathe this. Waiting on a Wish. Like, I know we covered it somewhat, but, like, I actually just despise this song. Okay, watch her come down these stairs. Remember, guys, this is the individual that Webb and Gold said have innate grace and poise. Okay? That's her.
I'm waiting on a wish beneath 1,000 treetops, and as a silver sky.
Maybe I'm just being picky, but that was not, she was not flittering down those stairs. That was not the movements of someone who was graceful. Like, that is a stomp, 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 stomp. Let me run down the last little bit of stairs. That was not delicate. That was not princessy. That was not poise, and that was not grace. This is who you have chosen. And then we get to, of course, where's it at? right here. Is this it? Yes. Snow White is riding a horse through a wooded area while the dwarves ride deer. Now, this is supposed to happen when they chase the evil queen, if you remember from the animated film. Snow White does not ride a horse in the animated film. She runs into the forest, but she doesn't ride a horse. There's a reason that a strategy is to try and bring cavalry into a wooded area. It's because you're going to get taken out by a tree branch if you're up on a horse.
You're waiting on a wish.
See what I mean? Like, her facial expression doesn't change. She's also a master horsewoman, a mistress horsewoman. She's an exceptional horseback rider. Okay, her expression doesn't change, and that's not me being picky. Oh, that's actually a great. She's opening her eyes. Look, it didn't change. Oh, it went black. Even the screen can't handle it. It didn't change. It's the same face. She looks like it looks like she got a bad smell in her like, it doesn't am I crazy? Like, her mouth changes position, but like there's no emoting whatsoever. And the only reason this is changing position is because she's singing different stuff. Like, the only time her eyes change is when she closes them, when she's singing about how great she is. Here we go, ready? She closed her eyes because it's part of the song. So now she's singing about how she's being held back by everybody and she's going to wait on the prince. And so now she's going to envision who she should actually be. I was one of these people. I had to teach myself how to walk in heels. What's going on, Jake Price? See, but then immediately, because the song has changed, and it also looks like she was given instruction. She's staring at somebody to tell her where to put her hands because she doesn't know what to do with them. And once again, her mouth is open because she's singing. She's a belter. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a technique that you use when you sing. This is called belting. But, like, her eyes are just dead. Like, hold on. Let me see if I can. Let me just. I still have the Dumbo clowns pulled up. Hold on. Hang on. Do a gray square. Okay. I'll make this as fair as I possibly humanly can. Okay. There's no emotion in her eyes. If anything, it looks like she's attempting to squint, or she's like, I'm trying to put gray here. Like, I know that it's like this sort of defeats the purpose, but like, there is zero emotion in her eyes. There's nothing there. You cannot tell if she is smiling. You cannot tell if she's happy, sad, upset, excited. Like, there's nothing there. There is no, like, there's no emotion up here. And yes, like, this should have some type of something. There's no emotion here. It's just not there. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. Now, when you take it away, like, it's been a minute. You haven't seen her mouth. It's easy to forget, like, what she's actually doing. But remember, she's just belting. She's just belting. It's not actually there. It's like she is attempting to pretend to have emotions that she's seen other people have, but has never experienced herself. Yes, Mr. Joe, she's not expressive in her cheeks or her forehead. Whose face while riding a horse was better, Rachel or Morfydd's? Oh my gosh. Morphydd Clark. Oh, Rings of Power. That was something else, let me tell you. She can't have emotion in her eyes. She has no soul. Well, you know, maybe Jesus can save anybody. You cannot have emotions if you're a glorified NPC. It goes against the updates. That's true. 0 gravitas, like a puppet, devoid of insides. Yes. Botox or psychopath? It's definitely something, because the amount of movement that's going on down here, there should be a ton of movement up here, unless you don't actually believe what you are doing or saying, and you are unaware of how to transfer said emotions to that part of your face.
I've had to hide.
See, did that not look like she was looking for cues? Am I crazy? Like, it looks like she's staring for a cue, and then they're like, look that way. Just, like, it's very awkward. I think here she's supposed to be filled with, like, awe and wonder. But once again, let me bring out my little gray square again. And I know it's surrounded by the deal, but like, it's the same expression she had in the previous scene, except she's slightly got more, like, there's more light in her eyes here, but it's the same expression. She's just not belting. I don't know. Like, I don't know who told her to not let it touch her eyes, because this has to be direction given, surely, because nobody can be that can give that much fisheye this constantly.
Wondering, will she appear?
And you've got the epic music going on in the background, but again, Rachel Zegler's voice, it's not bad. It's not the best I've ever heard. It doesn't hold a candle to the OG, but it's not bad.
Or will I spend another year?
Why does she look like she's gonna cry there? And why is she staring at his lips and not his eyes? Has she never kissed anybody before? What is happening right now? Oh, yay! Larry got a gift membership. Yes, thank you, Raider, for that generosity once again. Freaking, like, staring at lips is that is a directorial narrative choice. Like, you're supposed to look at their lips if you're thinking about a kiss, but then if the kiss means something to you, you're supposed to look at them in the eyes. Like, what is happening? She also looks cross-eyed in this. And look at how tight her jaw is. Like, she is fearful of what is about to happen. Like, she does not want, almost like she is sickened by the fact, this is a very square jaw. Holy cow. The haircut is not doing her any favors. But, like, just look at how, she's got a sharper jawline than him. Holy shit. Why does he have this soft little chin and am I crazy? Like, her chin is very pronounced and very sharp. Surely I am not the only one seeing that. Meanwhile, he's like, he has this very weak chin. Oh, but she doesn't like to look up to a man, be it figuratively or literally. I bet you are right, Legionist. She, like, because God forbid she have to look up into his eyes. His lips are at her eye level, so... Oh my gosh. Larry, hello. I imagine it was proven. I very much imagine that it was an utter nightmare. I can't get over this. He's got such a weak chin, and she's got a chin that could cut glass. Holy cow.
You're waiting on a wish.
See, again, like, that's harder because it's, like, in motion. Again, it doesn't come up to her eyes. To convey emotion through her eyes, but she doesn't know how to do it. So she just gets this, like, again, there's no emotion there. There's nothing going on. Like, do we see, again, she could be belting, she could be smiling, she could be frowning, she could just have her lips, like her mouth could just be closed. You wouldn't know based off of her eyes. I don't get it. There's no emotion. It doesn't go, it's nowhere. This still cracks me up. Did we get it?
To you, just like an echo.
Oh, but she can get her smug look down. This was also a choice. Snow White doesn't make these faces. Does this look like someone who is kind-hearted and gentle and considerate and always puts others before herself? Like, couldn't emote for any of it, but the second that she gets to be a little bit smug, now suddenly we can make that come through. Utterly insane. Oh my god, this movie is going to be terrible. I can't believe I have to go watch. Like, it's like she doesn't know what to do. It's the same expression in her eyes. This has been true. 3 minutes and 12 seconds. So we'll say 3 minutes because the intro had just the, like, Snow White screen. So we'll say 3 minutes. And this girl's eyes, the only time they changed was when she was looking up and being smug. She was miscast for this role and they knew it, but forced her. I see you. I see you. I have liked your tag of me. Oh god. You continue to impress me because, of course, this is just like when Thor had to give us the verbal, I like this one.
Princess.
Just Jonathan. Oh god. Okay, here we go.
My name's Jonathan, Princess. Not Jonathan, Princess. Just Jonathan, Princess.
I told you I'd fight with you.
You continue to impress me.
I would do anything for Snow White's special friend.
No, I would have brought anyone here to.
Awkward.
I continue to loathe this film. You guys are gonna watch me be petty. Oof. That was a different level of brutal. Good God. Thank you, Jose Ataco. That was a torture that I didn't know I didn't want to go. Like, yay! More trash. She'd make a better Romulan. Bro, facts, though. For real. She is small in many ways. She is something, that is for sure. Do you think that she...
My My name's Jonathan, Princess.
Whoa.
Not Jonathan, Princess. Just Jonathan,
Can you guys hear that?
Princess.
What's happening?
I told you
Hold
I'd
on.
fight with you.
You continue to
I gotta
impress me.
find the noise.
I would do anything for Snow White's special friend.
No, I would have brought anyone here to.
Awkward.
I would have brought anyone. What is happening? Where did that come from? Okay, there it is. Good lord. It's now trying to haunt me, obviously. Narcissists have trouble showing emotion because nothing is genuine. Yup. What was genuine was her vitriol and hatred for the fans. She meant that with every fiber of her being. I did quit X. I did. I thought I hit. I thought I closed out, but apparently I did not. So I'm just gonna have to be uber super duper careful when I think that I close out of stuff and then don't. But yes, so this is where we have landed. Now it's interesting because the original Snow White is literally what built the House of Mouse. The original Snow White, the original Sleeping Beauty, and the original Cinderella. They actually did a very decent job with the live action Cinderella. She was beautifully cast. I forget her name. But oh my gosh. Lily James. So she was beautifully cast. They didn't really lean into a feminist message. They didn't, oh look, shippers. But I mean it's Prince and it's Prince Kit and Princess Cinderella, so that sort of fits. But like, where is, okay, this is the Disney Vivo one. Where's the Disney one? Because I know Disney won't hit me. A dream is a wish your heart makes. Oh, this trap. Nobody even talks about this Cinderella anymore. She was a Latina Cinderella. You guys remember all that hype? Oof, I do. Where is... Here we go. From the Disney official, because they're less likely to actually strike me, hilariously enough.
I want to tell you a secret that will see you through all the trials that life can offer. Have courage and be kind.
Have courage and be kind. And then, of course, she becomes a daddy's girl because her mom dies.
And you'll have two lovely sisters to keep you company. So I'll know as far away as I may be that you'll be safe.
Wouldn't you prefer to eat when all the work is done, Ella?
Yes, stepmother.
Oh, you needn't call me that. Madam will do.
So, like, we're already, so very clearly, very...
Cinderwench. Dirty Ella.
Cinderella.
Now, granted, the prince isn't, like, pulled in by her... It's more she's in distress. But still, the overall essence is there. And he does get pulled in by the ball.
What did he call you?
Never mind what they call me.
I'm sorry.
It's not your doing.
Nor yours either, I'll bet. I hope to see you again, miss.
And I you.
Bro, I didn't realize how blue his eyes were. I gotta go rewatch this movie.
Ella, you have more kindness in your little finger than most people possess in their whole body.
It was my mother's old dress.
It would be an insult to take you to the palace dressed in these old rags. You shall not go to the ball.
And once again, it's her kindness. It's her kindness that brings out the fairy godmother, that allows her to go to the ball. Because remember, she wasn't going to meet the prince. She wasn't going to try and marry the prince. She just wanted to go to the ball so that she could dance and see the palace and see the people.
Excuse me. Why are you crying?
Who are you?
That's better.
My fairy godmother.
There's actually emotion in her eyes. It's jarring.
Now, where are those mice?
Like, this is my one gripe. They made the dress blue. It's supposed to be silver. We talked about this.
They're made of glass.
you find that really comfortable.
Now off you go.
For you shall go to the ball.
Like, that's it. Like, this wasn't hard.
They're all looking at you.
Believe me, they're all looking at you.
Where there is kindness, there is goodness. And where there is goodness, there is magic.
Okay, so actually, a lot of Christian theology and themes coming in. And because they stuck to the source material, those themes shine through and it resonates. It transcends the shallowness. It transcends, like, when I say shallowness, I mean the shallow things that we see every day. It isn't about money or titles or skin color or if you're a man or a woman or a boy or a girl. Like, great storytelling transcends all of that and it speaks to the human spirit. This is one of, like, I've tried to tell Shad a couple of times, like, this is by far and away not just my favorite live action adaptation of a Disney show, but it is one of my favorite movies ever. It is so fantastic, guys. If you have not seen it, I strongly recommend you do. And there's another one that I'm going to recommend you guys check out, and you'll see why in a second. But we'll go ahead and finish this trailer. Okay, so it goes for transformation.
I have to see her again.
Are you looking for this?
How hard was that? It wasn't. It wasn't hard at all. They nailed it. Now, I will show you guys. If you've not seen Mirror Mirror, it is a Snow White retelling, and it has Julia Roberts and Lily. Something about lilies. Maybe we should stick to casting lilies. But Mirror Mirror is a Snow White adaptation with Lily Collins as Snow White. And I do have a couple gripes about this, but it is one of the best. It certainly blows the Snow White and the Huntsman and whatever crap that's about to drop right now out of the water.
Once upon a time, in an enchanted kingdom, there was a beautiful princess with skin as white as snow and hair as black as night.
Okay, so, like, we're quoting straight from the fairy tale, right?
Her hair is not black, it's raven, and she's 18 years old, and her skin has never seen the sun, so of course it's good.
Okay, so right there, like, it's fantastic because Julia Roberts, the evil queen, that's the vanity, that's the jealousy, that's the pride coming out. This is a very realistic depiction of the evil queen. I love Ella Enchanted, Proven. I love Ella Enchanted. This Mirror Mirror is very much in the same vein as Ella Enchanted.
Seen the sun, so of course it's good.
This spring,
Mirror, mirror on the wall,
Who's the fairest of them all?
Snow White.
what?
Snow White.
A classic tale
Do you want to hear it?
gets a new wrinkle.
They're not wrinkles. They're just crinkles.
Banish her to the woods.
Is it done?
Just as you're instructed.
I'm impressed. You're not as pathetic and wimpy as I have always believed.
See what I mean? If you've ever watched Ella Enchanted, Mirror Mirror is very much in the same vein.
That's the
And
nicest thing you've ever said to
Lily
me.
Collins was perfectly cast.
You're invited to discover
The prince is rich. I'm going to marry him, and then my financial problems will be solved.
an untold adventure
Organize a ball. We are going to sweep this kid off his feet.
of romance.
Right? So she acknowledges that he's way too young for her, and she's still gonna try and marry him anyway. And throughout the film, she tries to talk about how like, that's why she made the comment about how, well, she's 18 and her skin has never seen the sun, so of course it's like that, right? So she's very aware, and she sees Snow White as competition, especially for the prince's affection, because she's like 30 years older than them. She's old enough to be his mother. She is her stepmother. So yes, it's actually very much in the vein of Ella Enchanted.
Snow White is the most beautiful woman
Absolutely,
in the whole
Mr.
world.
Joe.
Agreed to disagree.
Mystery.
Who are you?
Oh, sorry. So he said right there, I'll let
Beautiful woman in the whole world.
Agreed to disagree. this kid off his feet.
of romance,
I think Snow White is the most beautiful woman in the whole world.
Agree to disagree.
See? So she's still convinced that she is the fairest of them all.
mystery,
Who are you?
Snow White.
No who? No way!
power,
Look! Look! They actually cast accurate dwarves.
This doesn't fit. Well, you must have shrunk it, cinch me up.
See? It's everybody else's fault, not hers.
I knew I was the same size.
and magic.
I'll use the love potion. Puppy love. What am I supposed to do with a puppy?
You can rub my tummy.
Queen is getting married.
Take back your kingdom. I read so many stories where the prince saves the princess. It's time we change that ending.
Hey. That line right there almost turned me off to the show. However, what she is talking about there is saving her father. So I'll just, hence that. The prince does save her, and she helps save her father, which I can't really ruin for you until you see it and it makes sense exactly what she has to do. Because you can't really save her father, but kinda. Okay? You gotta watch it.
You're with the bandits?
You're with the queen.
Should we help her?
She's doing pretty good on her own.
If you weren't trying to stab me right now, I'd be tempted to kiss you.
The bandit's
See?
leader is a she.
Bandits' leader is Snow White.
Feels like crashing a wedding.
Here I was having such a good day. Everyone has magic within them. Yes. I definitely have a happily ever after thing going on.
It's so good, guys. If you've never seen Mirror Mirror, I strongly recommend it. Okay? It's before all of the insanity sort of like took off. So yes, Mirror Mirror exists. It's a far better live action adaptation. It is not Disney, and that is okay, quite frankly, because and it's actually it's much closer to the Grimm fairy tale as well. The magic isn't just trying to crush Snow White, but it overtakes the kingdom. And so it's actually really good. It was well cast. I mean, Lily Collins is perfect. I think it was like Relativity Media or something. I forget who actually did Mirror Mirror, but it's very, very good. I have it on DVD, and I think you can get it on Amazon Prime. But considering that Snow White is literally part of the castles that built Disney are Sleeping Beauty's castle, Snow White castle, and Cinderella's castle. In fact, Cinderella's castle is one of the biggest draws at Disney. Like, everybody wants to go see Cinderella's castle. It was literally the whole draw for years, and it's still one of the biggest draws. Larry, yes. So here's the thing. Because it follows the Grimm fairy tale, it is told that the point of view of the story, the narrator is the evil queen. It puts quite a dark twist on it. It's not exactly like the Grimm fairy tale. It is safe for like younger children to watch and such. But it is much closer to the Grimm fairy tale than Disney's by a long shot. So I can't recommend it highly enough. It's very good. If you've not seen the live action Cinderella, they actually did justice to that one, and it did banger numbers. In fact, I'll pull those up here. But it's insane to me that the lesson that they took from Cinderella was change everything about the character and don't change everything about the character, everything about the story, and utterly hate your audience and make sure they know it. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not really sure how else to put it because that's legitimately how that came across. But here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So the production budget for Cinderella was $95 million. And it made $500 million at the box office on a $95 million budget, if we're to believe what they tell us. So if that's true, that means, so you figure, so 95 million. Here, let's pull up the calculator so that I can't do crazy math, okay? So if we do 95 million and you multiply that by 2.5, right? So that covers production budget that covers advertising and theater cuts and stuff like that. So you do like 2.5. That's 237,500,000. Okay. And then you figure another 100 million or so, like maybe another 100 million for international stuff. So 337,500,000. Okay, and it'll be the negative number, but it's the absolute value that we're looking for. 351, 353. That means that Cinderella made a profit in the box office of $204,851,353. Disney would kill for this. Disney would kill for this today. Right? And they made over 51.5 million in DVD and Blu-ray sales. So, since we're doing absolute value, we'll have to subtract 831. Okay, so absolute value, right? And you figure I probably could have halved that, but give or take 20 million, you're talking $256,458,184. Hello, Nerdy Home. Mwah! How are you? Love you, girl. So yes, Disney made all like $250 million plus on Cinderella. And the lesson they took from that was crap all over the source material, crap all over the fans, gaslight the fans, insult the fans, and then demand that they, and then call them the problem when you don't earn your money back. It's just insane. Oh, well, thanks, girl. I love when I do math too. The real Frozen fairy tale is a lot like Mirror Mirror, where Elsa uses a spell to steal the protagonist's boyfriend. Sigh, Frozen is bad. What? Okay, that I've never seen that, but it's just insane. That's okay. I couldn't remember which one was which. So Disney World is Cinderella and Disneyland is Sleeping Beauty. Literally, these castles are the center of Disney. It's the center of Disney, and they're going to crap on them. I don't know how many of you guys saw Maleficent, but those movies were not good. It got 2. You got the first and the second one, and they crapped all over the source material there too. It's just wild. So yes, Mirror Mirror, I don't even know. I don't think that it did very well. 2012, holy cow. So worldwide it made, this was in 2012, it made 173 million on an $85 million budget. So it roughly broke even. Which honestly, considering it's from Relativity Media, that's not bad. I can't do the inflation right now. That was 13 years ago. A movie that's 13 years old is better than the current day live action Snow White that we are getting from Disney. That's just sad. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna ask Grok. What is 173,613,482 dollars from 2012 worth today? 2012, not 2021. That's a very different number. So use this tool. Okay, I'm trying. Holy crap. Okay, so when adjusted for inflation, Mirror Mirror made adjusted for inflation, it's equivalent to $241,636,634.82. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. And it made roughly 30.5 million in DVD and Blu-ray sales. Yes, Jolie as Maleficent was a fantastic casting choice. The story was crap. Conroy, are you headed out? That's okay. We've been here for 2.5 hours, so we are going to make our exits as well. But chat, you are amazing and incredible, and I appreciate every single one of you more than words can say. Thank you for spending your time here. I know how valuable it is. It's more valuable than just about anything else, because it's something that you can't get back. So thank you so much. And Mexican Iron Man, thank you for the member chat, for being here for 26 months. That's over 2 years. That means, like, I can't even put into words. Ian Soforth with the 20 memberships, thank you again. Adrian Kevin for the 20,000 IDR donation. That was just, I truly appreciate you. And Raider coming in with the 5738 and the 20 gifted subs. It's just amazing, that the generosity, you guys spending your night with me, that generosity, it's truly humbling. Hopefully I am able to stay humble and not let it go to my head, because we've seen what happens, right? I don't need to be turning into a Rachel Zegler of any kind. Certainly not somebody who is incredibly ungrateful for all the opportunity that has literally been dropped in their lap. So without further ado, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day or evening, depending on where you're at. Much love. God bless. Godspeed. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.
A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will